Tonight on News 5 Live, more details emerged in an alleged rape case involving a well-known attorney. News 5 goes one-on-one with the alleged victim's instructor. Life in prison for Leroy Hawes after a conviction in the murder of businessman Jose Diaz. The Briceño administration says the Blue Bond is on track 2 years after it was signed into existence. And Belize receives new aviation radar. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
And today we're here shopping at B-Mart. Today we're making the green super smoothie. Let's get after it.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
Belize's location is responsible for the amazing biodiversity that we find here, including quite a few endemic species that are found nowhere else in the world.
In fact, 60% of our country still remains forested. It's part of our history, it's part of our heritage, it's part of our culture.
Business has to be a long-term thing, and it has to feed into the environment. We truly believe that without a strong country, you can never have a strong company.
This is going to be a good night for frog catchers. podcast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, January 17th. I am Sabrina Daly. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is yet to advise the Belize Police Department on what charges, if any, should be brought against an attorney-at-law who stands accused of raping a pair of young ladies in the early hours of Friday, January 12th. Investigators have forwarded a file to the DPP and are awaiting further instructions regarding a course of action to be taken in the matter. Nonetheless, it is alleged that the well-known lawyer took advantage of the woman after a night of socializing at a nightclub on Newtown Barracks. The friends were out on the entertainment strip celebrating a birthday when they reportedly met the attorney at the establishment and had drinks with him. At the end of the night, the woman asked to be taken home, but they allegedly took a detour and ended up at his home in the Coral Grove neighborhood, where they consumed more alcohol. Sometime thereafter, he reportedly had intercourse with them against their will. This wouldn't be discovered until later in the morning when they woke up and realized that they were nude. It's an account that was given to police when they filed reports of the incident. The women are both students who are taking a cosmetology course here in the city. Earlier this morning, News 5 spoke exclusively with their instructor, the first person to whom they revealed details of their alleged ordeal with the attorney.
It wasn't until the Saturday when one of my students reached out to me and she said what had happened, no? And then I had verified with the other student and they both confirmed what had happened. But on the morning after the incident, I didn't know anything. I just know that one student was not in the right frame of mind. She was still intoxicated. I was aware that the night prior that they were going to go out because it was the birthday for one of the students. And I did tell them, just be careful, have fun. I made a little joke saying that I would join them, but I'm not that type of person. I don't have any time. But when they came in that morning, the other student, one of the student was just vomiting and couldn't stop vomiting, and she was swaying, She came like she come straight out of bed. She literally come like she was not in the right frame of mind. The other young lady was the one that really got to me because she was crying, screaming in my arms. She didn't want to tell me what happened, but she just screamed, and we just hugged it out on the balcony of my training room. And I told her, it's okay, you don't have to tell me. Both of them was very, very devastated and were in a bad place mentally, and I just had to give them the best advice for themselves as women, young mothers, and just so that they can get the help that they need for these types of situations.
According to the instructor, on the morning that the young woman showed up for the session, one of the students passed out on the floor and had to be cared for by someone she brought along with her. She also said that they were at the nightclub on Thursday night with one of their boyfriends when they met the attorney.
The other student that came, she couldn't even leave by herself, At one point she was laid out on the ground in here. And the model that had came for her that morning, because my students, they need to find models to do their practical on, that she had to leave with that model, and she couldn't even make it home. The model brought her to her home, and she also confided in that model as well what happened. She was crying through the entire thing while she was doing the latest nail. It was very hard to watch. The model, she was like, she have to pause and always go outside and gather herself and come back inside. So it was very, very hard. I understand that one of the young ladies had no memory at all about what had happened the following morning. Meanwhile, the other young lady had some memory, and what made it very hard for the other young lady that remembered was she's not from here. The incident that took place was on her birthday night, and she was with somebody that she barely knew because she didn't have a place to stay. She befriended the same student in my class. They had offered, the other student had offered her to stay with her gentleman and her son. And they went out the night for the birthday with the gentleman. They were all out, I understand that there was an argument between the gentleman and the girlfriend that led to them, staying out there. And, that's when the alleged person was already in the picture while the gentleman was there, and he was buying everybody drink, according to them,
As told by the instructor, when the woman regained consciousness later that morning, one of them inquired about what had taken place.
The other young lady mentioned she woke up naked and wanted to know what happened. The other student gave her a vague memory of what happened. She can't remember everything. She did mention that she herself had passed out. She didn't know what had happened to the other young lady. She could only recall what had happened to her and what was happening leading up to that moment where, they were taken advantage of.
As we reported on Tuesday, at the center of this latest sex scandal is an attorney at law who is well known within the United Democratic Party. He ran for the UDP as a candidate in the last general elections. Earlier today, the party issued a release acknowledging the report against the former politician, stating, quote, "The party takes the allegation of rape extremely serious. We condemn any act of violence against women and empathize with all victims. The party reveres the rule of law, which protects the rights of the accusers to seek justice, as well as due process rights of the accused. The party trusts the DPP will conduct a thorough and impartial investigation as she arrives at her determination of this matter." End quote. Coming up, troubled teen goes missing. Mother seeks answers. We'll have more details when we come back.
For 3 full years, Briceño and his PUP government have punished Belizeans, taking away our food pantry, cutting school feeding programs, slashing all social safety net programs. Cost of living has gone through the roof with the oppressive taxes they're extracting from us at the fuel pump. PUP Tongue and city councils have neglected and abandoned garbage disposal and maintenance of streets and drains. Now that municipal elections are upon us and general elections are near, we see hurry come up infrastructure works in towns and cities they control. They're announcing waiver of petty fees at some hospitals and clinics. We can expect minor decreases in fuel and a few handouts here and there. We might even get a little Christmas cheer this year. But once we give them another term in municipal and central government, they will tighten the noose once again. So don't let them fool us this time. We've suffered too much, they have done too little for us, and now it's too late to make it up. It's time to vote them out.
Too much, too little, too late to ever try again. Too much, too little,
Desde las áreas urbanas hasta las comunidades rurales, la conexión importa. El acceso a Internet es crucial para continuar el desarrollo social y económico. Es por eso que Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional, continúa invirtiendo millones de dólares para expandir sus redes de telefonía móvil y fibra óptica en todo Belice. Miles de usuarios móviles y viviendas, especialmente a lo largo de las carreteras y en comunidades rurales, ahora disfrutan de los beneficios de la infraestructura resiliente de Digi. Nuestra telecomunicación nacional continúa liderando la transformación digital a través de su tecnología avanzada y compromiso a la excelencia. Con DigiWallet, belicenios en áreas urbanas y rurales tienen acceso fácil y seguro a una amplia variedad de servicios financieros a través de sus dispositivos móviles. Y con el reciente lanzamiento de DigiTV, nuestra telecomunicación nacional se ha convertido en el único proveedor de servicios de reproducción cuádruple en Belice. Clientes ahora pueden ahorrar con nuestros paquetes DigiOne que ofrecen internet residencial, servicios móviles, teléfono residencial y servicios DigiTV convenientemente en un solo lugar. Digi permanece comprometido en brindar acceso a servicios de alta calidad, confiables y accesibles y crear oportunidades para un mejor futuro. Forme parte de la transformación y viva la conectividad como nunca antes. Porque con Digi, la conexión importa.
Pay early and enjoy savings on your 2024 property taxes. From now until March 31, 2024, take advantage of huge property tax discounts being offered by your Belize City Council. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31, 2024 and enjoy a discount of 15%. Pay by February 29 and benefit from a 10% discount. And by March 31, a 5% discount. And for senior citizens, we're giving even more this year with a whopping 35% discount on the property you reside in, applicable all year long. Please note that these incentives apply only to property owners who are current with their account. For more information on these incentives, visit the Belize City Council's Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073. Remember, we're here to serve you. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
When the UDP left office in 2020, national health insurance was a mess. No staff to provide proper services, facilities left to deteriorate, and no expansion of services in 13 years. Today, national health insurance is benefiting tens of thousands of Belizeans and now includes diagnostic and laboratory services. Facilities have been upgraded and properly staffed. Membership in existing clinics has been expanded, and NHI has rolled out to the Orange Walk district and now to the entire Belize district. The difference in leadership is clear. In March, in every municipality in this country, let's keep moving forward. Stay on track with the PUP.
As the world's weather and climate are changing, so too must the energy sector's approach to ensuring a more resilient power system. With funds provided by the Global Environment Facility's Special Climate Change Fund and the World Bank acting as the executing agency, BEL, with support from the Government of Belize and the National Meteorological Services, is able to lead the implementation of special projects under the country's Energy Resilience for Climate Adaptation Project, ERCAP.
The ERCAP includes a number of sub-projects, such as upgrading of BEL's existing stations, construction of new stations, installation of weather stations across Belize, installation of lightning detection system, a number of consultancy service, and a number of other projects that will help to enhance Belize's energy sector against the effects of climate change. And we understand that these project activities may affect different communities or different stakeholders in different ways. And thus we have establish a grievance redress mechanism. The grievance redress mechanism is really a way for concerned communities, stakeholders or persons to be able to lodge their concerns.
To report a concern, call our toll-free number at 0800-BEL-CARE or 0800-235-2273, or visit our website at www.bel.com.bz and complete the online grievance redress mechanism form. Or you can also choose to download, print, and complete at your own convenience. Printed forms can be delivered to the nearest BEL office.
All grievances received are highly confidential and managed solely by BEL.
The Government of Belize, World Bank, and Belize Electricity Limited, partnering to reinforce the national power grid against the effects of weather and climate change.
In 2019, Leroy Hawes was arraigned for the murder of clothing vendor Jose Diaz, who was shot at his place of business on Cemetery Road in Belize City. Today, Hawes was delivered a life sentence and will spend 31 years in prison before he will be eligible for parole. The charge came after video evidence showed Hawes acting as lookout for the gunman that murdered Diaz. Initially, Hawes was charged in conjunction with suspected gunman Emerson Garnett. However, as the surveillance footage linking Hawes to the crime did not clearly display the gunman's identity, Garnett was acquitted of the charge in 2023. Hawes, on the other hand, can be seen not only keeping watch as the murder occurred, but he also seen meeting up with the killer and fleeing the scene together after the crime was committed. Justice Nigel Pilgrim sentenced Hawes to life in prison with a mandatory 31 years served before parole. However, this sentence will not take effect until April 2026. Due to a previous 5-year sentence, Hawes must complete on account of a 2021 robbery charge. 2 men who shot at police officers in Ladyville on Sunday night have been charged for aggravated assault with a firearm upon a police officer on duty. On Sunday, police responded to reports of a fight in progress in front of a bar on Woodpecker Road. When the officers arrived at the location, 2 men identified as Alan Anderson Jr. and Joshua Jones Jr. allegedly fired shots in their direction. Fearing for his life, Police Corporal Kirian Bowen returned fire and the men ran onto Plunkett Street. Officers then set chase after the men and they were able to detain Anderson that night. Jones escaped into some nearby bushes, but he was detained at home the following day. The duo appeared before the chief magistrate this evening, where Jones pled guilty and Anderson chose to plead not guilty. The court imposed a fine of $1,000 plus $5 cost of court for Jones because he has no previous convictions for a similar offense. After Jones pleaded guilty and was fined, Anderson asked to change his plea. And as he was about to do so, his attorney Richard Dickey Bradley showed up to represent him. After attorney Bradley spoke briefly with his client, Anderson entered a plea of not guilty. Due to the nature of the offense, he was denied bail and remanded to the Belize Central Prison until March 18th. Attorney Bradley is expected to make a bail application at the High Court of Anderson, that is, who shed tears in court when he found out that he would be remanded. One mother is tonight looking for answers after her 16-year-old daughter went missing. On Monday night, police issued a missing poster for Virginia Hernandez. The teenager was in the care of the Human Services Department in Belmopan at the time of her disappearance. Her mother, Maria Hernandez, says she gave her child up for protective care after she ran away several months ago. The single mother is now questioning the whereabouts of her daughter. She is also questioning the system that the department has in place to discipline troubled youth.
Virginia used to live with me. Then she ran away the first time. We reported it and social services came for her. She stayed there for about 4 to 6 months. Then yesterday, I heard that she ran away again. I have tried calling them to see what is happening, but they refuse to answer my calls. I need to know where she is, because if anything happens to her, they are responsible. I tried to get help with her education because she is a very badly raised daughter. She doesn't listen. She wants to be on her own. The situation is that she does it because she wants to go to Guatemala with her dad. I told them, if she wants to go with her dad, let her go with her dad. Stay with him for some time to see the difference between there and here. And they said no, because she is a Belizean. I said, good, I get that, but I am not responsible. I can't take it anymore. I have told them that. This is too much for me to bear. I have asked them for help, and they refuse to help me. They tolerate their misbehavior and let them do whatever they want. I have already sent them a message that if anything happens to her, that they are responsible.
News 5 reached out to the Human Services Department, and we were informed that no comments can be provided at this time because the matter is still being investigated. We will continue to follow. After the break, Prime Minister says Blue Bond performing on target. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
A family feud has spilled over into the San Ignacio Santa Elena Town Council as the father of Mayor Earl Trapp was fired from the council. Reports of news say that the mayor fired his father, who was employed as a handyman.
If Mayor Earl Trapp would fire his own father because of a personal domestic issue, then that shows you the type of man he is.
He's the mayor, he do what he wants, he have action to do what he feel like, and you must satisfy with that.
Earl Trapp is bad for San Ignacio and Santa Elena. It's time for fresh air in the Twin Towns. In March, reject Earl Trapp and go full blue. Stay up on track with the PUP7.
Hola usuario de eCash, la aplicación eCash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de eCash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Deja mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación eCash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de eCash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital eCash. La aplicación eCash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
My name is Denise Mala. I had an aunt, one of my mom's sister, that we believe died from cancer. She was relatively young. And my sister passed from cervical cancer. I have been doing annual checkups. Recently, after one of the annual checkups, I noticed, a change in one of my breasts. I went for the next checkup earlier and I brought it to the attention of my treating doctor. He looked at it and he said he didn't like what he was seeing. A biopsy was requested and then the biopsy came back positive. When you first find out these things, you think about a lot of things, and then eventually it comes around to the finance. I recalled this insurance, critical illness insurance that I had that I was paying. And that was probably the first time I read that contract. I read it in its entirety. And then I recognized that, this is going to assist me. I called the office, spoke with my agent. He was very helpful, guided me through what I needed to do. So I went through the process and I communicated with him a couple times, and he just informed me what was happening. In a pretty short period of time, I was paid my insurance. This plan that I had been paying for many years, in my time of need, that came through for me. Having that insurance helped me significantly. It is absolutely something that everyone should consider, because you never know when you're going to need it.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Apply now for an undergraduate degree in animation, film or journalism at the Caribbean School of Media and Communication at the University of the West Indies, Mona. For more information, visit www.mona.uwi.edu/apply.
This January senior PUP government that easily the most corrupt, incompetent and lied administration ever in the history of Belize. They lied to the Finstein group that they want to get to our port. They lied to the Get group that they want to get to our port. They lied to the Ashcraft group that they want to get to our port. They even lied to the sugarcane farmers and BSI about resolve the sugar crisis. And they lie every day to the Belizean people about the rising cost of living. Now, municipal elections, they come in a March and they want to try lie their way back in the office again. But this time, the Belizean people set for them like snake. No more corruption, no more lies. Enough is enough. PUP gots to go. UDP, that the only hope for Belize.
PUP got to go.
People are punished, people is suffer out there, and thousands of people is suffer out there.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered-up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
It's been 2 years since the government of Belize brought back the super bond through a $553 million loan from the Nature Conservancy. This external commercial debt was negotiated at a discounted price of 55 cents per dollar of $360 million in debt forgiveness over the next 20 years. It also resulted in the reduction of about 400 million Belize dollars in debt servicing and shared with the establishment of long-term financing for marine conservation. Today, the Office of the Prime Minister gave an update on how the debt is performing during a press conference at the Best Western Belize Biltmore Plaza Hotel. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
In effect, we realized over $1.1 billion in savings for Belize and the Belizean people. Over the last 2 years, Belize has benefited from a payment plan that supports our national financial recovery that has placed the government in a better position to support the country's social and development programs. It has also allowed us to be in full compliance with our payment obligations. We have made payments of almost 15 million Belize dollars towards the realization of key achievements in marine conservation.
Since the government entered into a distinctive Blue Bond agreement in 2021 with the Nature Conservancy, Belize committed to spend roughly $4 million a year on marine conservation until the year 2041. We also agreed to double our marine protection parks, spanning coral reefs, mangroves, and the seagrasses where fish spawn from 15.9% of our oceans to 30% by 2026. And, according to the team, headed by Prime Minister John Briceño, we are on target.
We have strengthened the management of mangroves and designated all remaining national lands within the Belize Barrier Reef Reserve System World Heritage Site as mangrove reserves. We improved the legislative framework for the conservation and treatment of mangroves in development areas. Through the Blue Bond, we have launched the marine spatial planning process for the development of the Belize Sustainable Ocean Plan. This plan is meant to provide us with a blueprint for blue economy development.
The first milestone was completed in 2022, and that was an expansion of the biodiversity protection zones to 20.3%. The next milestone is due in November of this year, which will take us to roughly 25%, and then finally in 2026, in November, will get us to the 30%. So these are things that are happening. There are multiple milestones that need to be reached in order to meet all the commitments. There are other milestones that's related to the Integrated Coastal Zone Management Plan, also the applications for IUCN green, help me here, Bev, green listing. So there are some other commitments that are also within the milestones.
Country Program Director for the Nature Conservancy, Julia Robinson, reiterated that there will always be monies to invest in the marine environment, and Director of the Blue Bonds, Beverly Wade, explained that the benefits naturally extend to those who live off the marine environment.
As part of the money that will be going towards conservation, government had set aside 47 million Belize dollars in an endowment so that after the 20-year and those conservation payments are completed, after that 20 years, the proceeds from that endowment will continue to fund marine conservation work on the ground in perpetuity.
Key to it is strengthening the institutional and the governance framework, and also looking at how do we now bolster livelihoods to ensure that we make a difference in the well-being and welfare of Belizean people. As a matter of fact, we're already leveraging the work that we're doing with the PFP with local institutions like the Development Finance Corporation currently. And the government has done an excellent job in allocating monies for MSMEs. And we are now using those monies, approaching those monies within the DFC to, in the near future, the Ministry of Finance and the Blue Bonds Unit, along with WWF and the DFC, will be launching what we're calling a Fisher Fund program. And the objective of that is to now create an increase in the uptake of that money by the fishing community to improve their livelihoods and their operation and allow them to have an increase in their income.
But how will the enforcement agencies ramp up their work to discourage overfishing so that Belize can have marine resources well into the future? Wade says through enhanced technology.
We're currently investing heavily into the Belize Coast Guard and the Fisheries Department and also our co-management partners. We're actually in the process of procuring. We have ordered already very sophisticated drones for the Belize Coast Guard that are long range and have extensive hours that they'll now be able to build their air capacity, which has been a gap in the Belize Coast Guard, and it is to complement their operations to ensure that the blue space is well monitored.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Belize has not yet engaged in mapping its ocean's wealth, but the Blue Bond team that addressed the media today explained that there is an estimated $1 billion annually that can benefit the tourism, fisheries, and related sectors through the wealth of our oceans.
We haven't looked specifically at doing that here in Belize at this point in time, but that is absolutely, given the resources we had, the resources is definitely something that we would like to do. Eventually, the idea is that we're able to map the wealth of the oceans across the entire globe. But it's not specific to the Blue Bonds program, and this is something that we hope that we will be able to do in the future.
The value that has been placed is $1 billion Belize dollars on tourism, fisheries, and shoreline protection offers $1 billion annually.
While a sizable amount will be invested in protecting the marine environment over the coming years, a significant amount has already been spent since the project kicked off 2 years ago. Blue Bond Director Beverly Wade and CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister, Narda Garcia, explained how much and how the monies are allocated.
The government of Belize have effectively made conservation payments so far of approximately 15 million Belize dollars. We have allocated 14.6 through the Belize Fund for a Sustainable Future to both government and non-governmental organizations who are working on the ground to deliver on our conservation commitments. And overall, it is expected that we would have invested approximately $360 million Belize over the 20-year lifetime in conservation and responsible blue economy in Belize.
The monies that we invested are done through government, but it's also done through the Belize Fund for a Sustainable Future. So they take care of the non-governmental or the private sector, and the government strategic allocation is done through the Blue Bonds Unit.
When we return, Belize finally secures primary aviation radar.
Bernard Wagner cannot pick up the garbage. He cannot fix the streets. He cannot maintain the drains.
We have to do a better job maintaining the drains.
He cannot even pay city council workers.
The other day, we had to bail out the Belize City Council. They were short of $100,000. They could not pay their salaries, and central government paid them.
But he can spend almost $250,000 on a concert, most of it on a foreign artist, and find it funny.
like rongdong.
Okay.
Nobody elected Wagner and the PUP Council to throw concerts. They were elected to fix the streets, maintain the drains, and keep the city clean. If they cannot do the job they were elected for, then they should follow the advice of Abelardo Mai.
Find something else to do.
And Belize City voters must heed the advice of Wagner's own deputy.
We need to go a different direction. The city needs a breath of fresh air, needs new leadership.
The city needs new leadership. The country needs new leadership. The time is now.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers! We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced full high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
These will offer you coping mechanisms when dealing with violent situations.
That is a very simple phone number that you can store in case of any emergencies.
Violence exists in the form of corrective rape.
Welcome Marines as the totally new HD member.
We realize that success in agriculture isn't just about land and access to finance. We realize that we have members who have issues of domestic abuse, who have issues of child sexual abuse in their families. We've noted that the barriers and the obstacles are quite different for women and girls than for men. And this is why we decided to take a holistic approach.
Violence against women and girls is an issue for me because I think it is used as measures of control and it is a reinforcement of negative power dynamics. All people, especially women who have been experiencing discrimination and injustice for quite some time, deserve to be afforded physical, emotional, financial, and mental stability and safety.
There are a lot of persons who don't understand the dynamics, of violence against women and girls. And so there's always need for advocacy and education to keep the awareness.
Economic empowerment, that's what we've been focused on day one. We've focused on creating opportunities, economic opportunities for women to establish themselves as independent business owners. On top of that, we've also created and ensured that we create male allies in their families, whether it's their husbands, their partners, and so forth, to understand the rights of women and to also understand and upskill themselves as supportive partners of these women and girls.
We need to educate young men and women within our society today, engage them in a one-on-one interaction, educating them about the different types of domestic violence that we have within our society, and teaching them how ending violence against women and girls can help within our future generation in preserving the future for women.
I believe it's important for persons to be aware of the positive enforcement and policy shifts in that of legislation, because this is what brings about change. This is what brings about the change in people's mindsets, and knowing that there are legislation, there are enactments of bills that advances the rights of women and girls.
Everyone has a part to play. If we see or hear something, we shall say or do something.
We have to stand up and make the changes ourselves to set the example for everyone else.
I will continue to play my part by advocating to end violence against women and girls.
We all need to make sure that we help to fight to eliminate violence against women and girls in our society.
What grows together, goes together. Let's stand in solidarity to fight violence against women and girls.
Everyone has a part to play.
Everyone has a part to play
in ending violence against women and girls.
This is one-hit wonder Shine Barrow. He is Mr. Fix-It. He says he can fix everything. Crime, the economy, poverty, the cane farmers. Shine has the answer for everything, he says. But the truth is, Shine is fake. He can't fix anything. He can't even fix his own party. Everybody knows that. So far, Diddy's money is keeping him afloat. But the minute he slips, he's gone. John, Patrick, and Tracy all want his head. The opposition is a joke. If the UDP did nothing for you when they were in office for 13 years, what can they do for you now when they are at their weakest ever? In March, stick with the plan that works. Stick with the party that works. Stay on track with the PUP.
Years of waiting, Belize has finally updated its aviation surveillance system, making the country one of the most advanced in aircraft control within the region. Back in March 2023, the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation signed an $8.5 million agreement for the acquisition of a new aviation primary radar and for the upgrading of its air traffic control center. And now, after nearly a year, it's finally here. According to the government of Belize, the acquisition of this new technology will allow Belizean authorities to keep track of all aircraft before they head into Belize's airspace, giving law enforcement sufficient time to intercept these planes with their cargo and occupants.
So the primary surveillance radar, in conjunction with the secondary surveillance radar, will allow for air traffic controllers to see all aircraft in our airspace. The secondary surveillance radar is limited to seeing aircraft that have transponders on. If the aircraft is flying without a transponder and possibly without radio communication, then our air traffic controllers would not be able to see that aircraft. With the primary surveillance radar, they will be able to see aircraft that do not have any transponders and possibly no radios. It allows for them to make better decisions insofar as ensuring safety of aircraft navigating within our airspace. The primary surveillance radar provides tremendous support to our national security. The information is sent to both air traffic control officers as well as the Joint Intelligence Operations Center. The primary radar provides coverage for all of Belize's airspace, and in conjunction with other primary radars in the region, it creates a network of primary surveillance radars that is capable of providing alerts for any incoming aircraft.
The radar system that you're looking at behind me is manufactured by Indra Systems. The system is installed for two purposes. Firstly, for situational awareness for air traffic controllers, and then the secondary is for national security. You're looking at two antennae. The rectangular one on top is the secondary surveillance radar. The antenna at the bottom, which is concave in shape, is the primary surveillance radar antenna.
The modern primary radar will allow our security forces to better track illicit activities. When tied into those belonging to our regional counterparts, it will allow us to see aircraft many miles beyond our borders. This primary radar is another symbol of our commitment to bring safety and security to Belize and the Belizean people.
The Philip Golson bus that has been repaired will be mounted shortly at its permanent location near the entrance to the highway named after him. This week, work to build a protective barrier is being carried out at the site to prevent the sculpture from being damaged by vehicular traffic. This follows an incident on September 9th of last year when a drunken taxi driver lost control of his vehicle and careened into the bust, knocking it to the ground and damaging it. Chief Engineer at the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, Evondale Moody, explained the scope of work being put into the protective barrier.
Today, the contractor mobilized to site and he's trying to formulate the stand for the pedestal. And so the idea is that we want to construct a new pedestal so that we could place the bus on top. And we expect to get those works completed within about 4 to 5 days. And thereafter, we will install back the Philip Golson bus on top of the pedestal that we are presently constructing. At the same time, as I mentioned before, we'll be building some what you call bollards as an additional protection in front of the pedestal that we're building in an effort to secure it even more. In the event that we have another unfortunate accident at that location. We will be building a concrete pedestal that will be secured with a new footing to ensure that it does not tilt over in the event that we have another accident there. Yes, it will entail additional reinforcement in an effort to make sure that it is sturdy and constructed well. And it's basically just a cylindrical pedestal that we will be building. It's not going to be too high, similar to the height that we had before, so that we could ensure that the bus is uniformly placed in terms of its size and complexity with respect to the new pedestal.
So I'm thinking if there's a cargo truck or a big bus, driver losing control in that area, smashes into a foundation, any damage could be caused to the bus again.
Well, depending upon the speed of those vehicles. So I don't expect that we should have excessive speeds going around the roundabout because it should be a slow-moving roundabout exiting onto the Philip Golson Highway. But we do anticipate that with the foundation that we're presently putting in, it should be sturdy enough to withstand an additional accident. But honestly, we don't really want anybody to intentionally crash into the structure, because that will definitely damage your vehicle and also the structure itself. So I think the level of protection that we're putting in is just so that in the event it just gets a little hit, that it doesn't tilt over. Basically, that it's not to damage a vehicle and keep that pedestal standing, because that would be detrimental to the driver.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.